2.
He forgot all of them.
He forgets all the things.
Numbers are hard. It's okay.
Counting is difficult.
Especially counting down.
Yeah, it really is.
Everyone's it's really taking away.
Hello and welcome to the Villains Talk Show and podcast.
Learning about numbers today.
I am one of your hosts, C4, along with Sara, Vike, Insanieac, the Great Grease Goblin, and Sir Jeremy. And we are your I don't even know how to finish that sentence. We just do random things.
We're the sad people.
We do 2-shot Sundays and we just talk about random stuff. We have guests on and sometimes we don't, and we have random topics. But today, the topic is by the Art of LauR, even though that's all I got. I didn't know it was unwritten lore. But by the Art of Unwritten LauR, that's our guest. Is an artist, Unwritten LauR. Hello. I've done my intro. Did I?
That was a skillful intro. Thank you for that.
They're always
Pretty average, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen better.
Yeah.
You mean heard? You mean heard better?
This time.
Yeah.
I waited. No. We started. I just waited till everyone stopped talking.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. And then we'll talk when you talk, right?
Yeah, that's usually the best choice of action.
Yeah.
I guess we do shows every Wednesday and Sunday. Sundays are 2 shots. Wednesdays is our talk show. Today's talk show. Yeah. Yeah. So Unwritten LauR is an artist. Who is an art. You know what? I'm just gonna play the guest videos right now. And why don't you tell us about yourself while these play?
Sure thing. I was mainly into acrylic traditional art when it came to high school, and I could have taken scholarships back then that were offered to me. I was always the featured artist at my high school, but I was stubborn and decided to do things my way, and that means that I wandered around lost like most people fresh out of high school. I just recently picked up a pen and tablet and got into digital art. Most of the things you're seeing on the slides here are my digital art, and I started it just a year ago, so everything's absolutely self-taught, and there has been a lot of strain and being like, I can do this, and then finding a tool that makes everything so much easier, and definitely makes me want to throw myself out a window.
Actually, it's tough every day. Trying to try new things that'd be new concepts.
Absolutely. I'm trying Photoshop right now, and I want to throw my laptop out the window and being like, how come this doesn't look right?
Oh no.
You know that trying to do graphic design and make certain thumbnails and trying to get certain pictures work a certain way, and it's a nightmare.
Definitely can be. It's really can be hard, but I try my best not to get discouraged. And I've got artistic friends myself, so I'll throw my art in their page and say, "What's wrong with it?"
The worst thing is always when you have a picture in your head and you just can't get it to come out no matter what you do, right? I hate that.
Exactly. Especially with feet. It's like I can get better with hands, but with feet, it's just what is this amorphous blob here?
There's so many pieces. They're ridiculous.
Man, I could do feet no problem. It's hands that always bugged me. My hands always looked like oblong sausages.
I hate noses.
Yeah, noses are awful.
I hate eyes. Eyes suck.
I thought everyone loved eyes.
I actually enjoy doing eyes.
But getting them identical is what sucks.
That's fair.
That's true.
Yeah.
That makes sense if you're doing a face-on project. In digital arts, there's this mirror tool, so as if you're having someone looking straight at you, so if you do one eye, the other eye is going to be exactly the same.
Translated?
That's
Yeah.
Translated?
Yeah.
Get good, scrub.
Welcome to the modern world.
Get good.
You gotta evolve, Peyton. Use the new tools.
I just like my pencils.
That's fair.
What are these
So-
archaic writing devices you speak of?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pencil?
I was.
know it's
I was
something
looking
from your
through-
time.
Why did you only use the number 2 then? Why didn't you use the number 1?
I was looking through some of your art earlier, and it's really gorgeous. I think everything I saw was the digital art, and I assumed you'd been doing it for years and years. I would have never guessed that it was something you just started recently.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. It's definitely something I've grown to be obsessed with. My very first project took me about 30 hours in total, and I
Oh,
was
wow.
so proud of it. And then on the anniversary of when I started digital art, I just remade the first project, and it looks so much better. It's like, oh my goodness, that's what a
Wow.
year can do.
Yeah,
And
that's crazy.
Now-
but I'm definitely glad you like it.
It's really gorgeous. You did a great job on every one of them. I can see the details and the colors you've chosen. It's all great.
Aw.
Now, is this, I mean, like, how, let's talk brass tacks. You living off this stuff yet? Or is this still a pipe dream? You still making your way, or are you making bank?
It's kind of a mix.
Hey.
As an artist, I don't need to do taxes until I'm making at least 30 grand a year off this. I am not.
Nice.
But I do take commissions.
But making 20 grand a year off your art, although it's hard living, it's still living.
That's,
Yeah. I wish I was making that off my art. I am not, sadly. So, as it stands, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go to school, and that way I can have like an impressive title under what I can already do.
What
It's
was
very
your
awesome that looks good on the papers.
what-
Exactly.
Just to close on that, what was your biggest commission?
Oh, my biggest commission.
Like someone reach out to you and just out of nowhere and be like, "Hey,
Yes, it
Ooh.
was a family friend who reached out to me rather suddenly, and she said, I would like a piece for my grandchild. And I said, okay, definitely. Tell me what he's into. And she's like, he loves superheroes. And I'm like, all right, what's his favorite superhero? Keep in mind, she told me the kid's 10. She's like, Deadpool.
Yeah. All right.
That's fair.
Fun.
Yeah. Great way to
So,
open it up.
so I definitely did a piece with Deadpool in traditional painting, and I just added a lot of characters from the first Deadpool movie as well, because if the kid's a fan of Deadpool, he'll get the movie references, and that way I don't have to do something inappropriate for a child.
Fair enough. Yeah, it gives a little different Easter eggs, keeping it kind of
Yeah.
for regular superhero kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't need Deadpool in a tutu bent over for a kid's birthday.
Yeah, that's probably not ideal.
Yeah.
But no,
But
that's
Deadpool wearing a tutu, riding a unicorn, holding a sword out. That's actually so Deadpool, but G-rated. Like,
Yeah.
for some reason,
Really
that's like the
is.
first place my mind goes, and I'm like, man, that's still Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead, I had him doing like the cute Japanese girl pose while Wolverine's about to beat his ass in the background, that kind of thing.
Nice.
Nice.
That kawaii kind of like pose. It's like,
Exactly, exactly the finger thing.
yeah.
I
That
did that
sounds like
exact
it was
finger thing.
probably adorable.
Yeah,
It also
it
sounds
was.
like a lot of work, though. Did that take a long
Like
time?
those eyes.
It did take a long time. I was struggling so hard with doing Colossus because see, he's all metal.
Yeah, that would be
and-
difficult.
And to make things special for the child, I actually added him into the picture and had
That's
him
cool.
slingshotting some glowing stones, and that
That,
way he's part of it.
oh, he must have loved that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
That would be the coolest thing ever as a 10-year-old.
That's what we were hoping, but
Yeah.
from what I hear, it was a success.
That's amazing. What an awesome idea.
Thank you.
How big was the piece, if you don't mind me asking?
The piece was definitely not that big. About 17 inches across, and I'll say 14 down.
You say it's not that big, but that's a pretty
That's
decent
pretty
size.
big, yeah.
A foot and a half by a little over a foot.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad, actually.
I'm sure there's definitely
And
bigger.
now you said painting? Nice.
Yeah, definitely have done a lot of traditional paintings. Recently, I took one I made back in high school and redid it digital art and posted it on my accounts, and it turned out really well. I was quite happy with it.
Okay.
Awesome.
What do you prefer? Do you prefer the digital art or acrylic painting or something else?
I definitely appreciate the digital art for its function. It's so useful if you do something and it's like, oh, there's the undo button.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, easy.
My acrylic can tend to look better, but digital art just makes things so much easier.
You
That
don't
makes a lot of sense.
True.
you don't follow the Bob Ross rule of painting where there's no such thing as mistakes. There's happy accidents.
Definitely not. I would be yelling at Bob Ross going, I made a mistake. That's not a mistake.
No, it's just a
I
happy
just-
accident.
I just turned her eye upside down. How is that not a mistake?
No. You just make it a nice little tree and put a happy little bush here.
See that?
Put a nice little stream here.
No, they're supposed to be cross-eyed.
It's because like Bob Ross did. I don't remember, but did Bob Ross actually do like person paintings?
No,
Or wasn't
he
it all, like,
he was
No.
but that was his specialty. He was a landscape
Yeah.
painter.
Yeah, well, that's why it makes it a lot easier to work something into a landscape, right?
Going into a face, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
key
Landscapes
detail.
can be a mess because you know what? There could be a fallen tree there, or there could be a happy little bush there. I don't think there's a happy little bush for an eyebrow there.
Maybe he's just a
You
happy
never
little
know.
child. Maybe his eyebrows
Maybe
are
there's
just
a
formed
really
a little
weird
different. You know,
mole.
maybe he's just one of those special children, and he's he needs to be shown in a world that needs
You
to
know
be
what?
represented properly.
Hey! Picasso and Salvador Dali are famous painters, and Picasso is especially known for painting with a guy with an ear down here. So I mean,
Yeah, see, exactly. You have an eye that's a little half twisted.
There you go.
Just
How about-
like it's brilliant. He just needs to be represented properly.
1950s Bauhaus art style, where like you have the ears down here and the long for man, everything's art. It's all about the timing. It's all about timing.
Surrealism, but I don't want. What I want is people to look at my art and officially at first say, "Oh, that's nice," and then look a little deeper and then see, "Oh, the situation's not nice." And recently, I've been doing more fan art because that's what sells rather than original characters and original situations. But
Yeah.
I like kind of doing pretty, but if you look a little deeper, it's darker.
I mean, if you
Oh, fun.
I mean, if you look, I don't know if you looked at the background I use for our stream and our podcast and everything. Like all that is a picture of me with goggles on and filtered out.
Oh,
in
is
front
that
of-
what that is?
That's all
Yeah,
it is.
that's absolutely what it is, yeah.
It's just me going like this,
is.
and now
That's
no
really
one
it.
will unsee it.
I'm surprised no one noticed it. Like I noticed that right away. It was so
I
bad.
had no idea. I didn't pay that much attention, I guess.
So if you
That's the
wanted to
point.
like, you wanted to like do something and like stylize our villains, like I'm not gonna say no.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
What are you talking about?
Co-support kind of thing. That's what we do. Scratch each other's backs, in a way, right?
Absolutely. No, I do understand.
What kind of, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of like drove you to kind of pursue art more as like a career choice instead of more as like a free time kind of thing?
Originally, it definitely was a de-stressor because I work officially at a bank, which
I
is
see.
the most stress-free place ever, as you can imagine.
Absolutely.
So I started doing digital art to kind of calm down after my work hours, and then then I would start obsessing, and then I got tunnel vision, and then it's all I really cared about doing. And my friends be like, "You alive anymore? Poke me with a stick," and I'll be like, "Yeah, I'll have dinner tomorrow."
It's gonna sit here for a couple hours.
Days. If they'll let me, it'll be days. But when I'm finished and I get a result, it's just like a huge deep breath and oh, that was wonderful. That was completely satisfying. That was wonderful. Let's do it again.
I totally understand that. I'm like that with a lot of things too. But once you're going through it, it's like, oh, this is never going to end. But then you finish it and you're like, this is wonderful. I need to do another one.
Exactly.
That's awesome. I remember when I was younger going to school, I used to have kind of tough issues growing up, a young kid, angry and whatnot. Drawing a lot helped me kind of help focus that into other, means and keep my attention on a paper and using my imagination instead of using, a different emotion of being frustrated or stupid things and putting that out there for other people to deal with,
I can't imagine you looking at a paper because I remember you tugging my hair way too much.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely grumpy kid.
Interesting.
yeah, that's what that's tied to.
The Pumpkins.
We know what a de-stressor is because I mean that's kind of why I started the podcast. Like I can really relate to that. I was in a real bad
Pulling
place
hair?
like 2 months before I started this podcast over a year ago with everyone here, and de-stressor is a real thing. And it's
Just
funny
being able
how
to
they
chat and have a good time, especially right now with this year and with everything that's going on, right?
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just
we did it.
it's just funny how much just something you do in your pastime just eventually evolves into That being said, so I've been wanting to ask, so when was your, I guess we'll say Bob Ross moment when you realized you were actually like drawing, or you found it as something that maybe you could do in the future as a de-stressor as you do now?
For a de-stressor, that had to be way back had to be high school. I believe it was high school when I got grounded for 3 months. And
Wow.
no computer, no phone, nothing, no friends. So it's like, what am I supposed to do? I've already read all my books.
We're now backing up. Why did you get grounded for 3 months with all that?
I disappeared with my boyfriend overnight and woke up to 21 missed calls from my mom.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, you've all been there.
Yeah, it was an experience. I said, I'll see you at church. Bye.
At least you had the decency to take her to church.
Oh, I was going to pretend I had this huge God revelation for her to listen and be like, oh, my child's getting closer to God. I wasn't.
Oh my God, that sounds like me. Sounds like me as a kid. Sounds as devious as me.
It did not work.
Apparently, if you got grounded for 3 months.
No. The original punishment was going to be 6 months.
No, that's right. But
my mom does 2 weeks at a time. My dad said, no, this is going on long enough. 3 months now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think I got grounded for a month one time when I just went to hang out with a friend. I had to say I disappeared for a couple hours and everyone was tripping the fuck out and freaking out and where'd you go? I got grounded for a month. It was so stupid.
Grounding worked on me until I hit 16, and then I got grounded, and one day I was sitting in my room, and I was like, wait.
What am I doing?
And I stood up, and I walked out of the house, and I just kind of looked back, and I'm like, and then I left, because I didn't have a phone, because they took my phone, so I just left. And I came home, and no one said anything, and I'm like, so wait. You took away the way to contact me. Well, here's how I'm gonna. And I look at my parents. I'm like, you could either, give me my phone back, or I could just leave and you have no contact with me. And they're like, well, you're grounded. I'm like, oh, And then I'd walk out. I just walk out the door.
Me, I just got sneaky and just started hiding my friends in my room and hanging out with them. And if they needed to suddenly sneak out, I just pushed them out my window onto the garage roof.
My
Wow.
God. We live very similar lives, you and I.
Funny.
So
Versus me, who figured out a way to sneak out my window and then never used it because I never needed to.
What?
What? I don't
Sarah's.
think I ever lived on a room high enough.
I was able to
get
sneak
over
out
now.
my window.
You
but I
gotta
was on the
sneak people
basement.
into your room.
Yeah, me too. My friends didn't live close to me. They all lived in a different city.
Sarah's a special child.
Yeah.
She's a.
Well, then get your local drug dealer and say, "Hey, bud, I'm bored."
Yes, Sarah. Yes, Sarah.
Please, yes, there is.
It's
all you
not that
gotta do.
hard.
What's funny?
Yeah.
What's funny, Laura? What's funny, unwritten lore, is you could have said that to any of the other four, and we've all been like, "Oh yeah, easy." But Sarah, you haven't drug dealer, do you? Upstairs to me.
It's easy, Sarah. You just go to 7-Eleven, right?
Oh, Sarah's frozen too.
Oh
Oh.
no, really?
No,
No, you're good.
You just fixed it.
no. So
Okay.
you got grounded for 3 months, and then you just. I'm guessing you just found a way to fill the time. But what drew you to painting? I guess.
I decided that I wanted to paint something morbid because, of course, I'm in an angsty teenager mood.
Nice.
And I drew a girl in a pretty off-white blue dress and being bitten by a vampire. You know, you can feel the teenage angst off that.
If it makes you feel better, obviously, if you look at our cameras, me and Insanieac have not left our teenage angst years. So please
Nope.
continue.
Nope, those will stay forever.
Well, he's been in Disturbed since forever. Like,
Yeah.
literally as long as I can remember,
It's been since junior high.
at very least.
Yeah,
But
Green Day.
yeah, I get that. And at some point, I left my room and left my paintbrushes all down. And I was 15 or 16 at the time. That means that my sister would have been 7 or 8. So she went into my room, took one of my paintbrushes that still had some leftover paint from the dark background, and placed it on the white dress. And I got really upset, screamed at her, screamed at mom, and said she ruined it. And then my mom grounded my sister for 2 weeks. I went back in my room, used a white paintbrush over it, and it was like it never happened. And I
Yeah.
decided I'm not telling anybody that it was easy to fix. She can stay grounded for 2 weeks. And that started my love of drawing and painting.
Nice. Revenge. Nothing quite like revenge.
Once all was even, I loved painting.
Yep. This would solve the only problem I need to deal with right now. Now all is right.
Only
with
on
you.
the
Thank you,
Villains
people.
Talk Show. It's through my sheer hatred and wanting for everyone to be equal. I love painting now.
I was so mean to my younger sister back then. It's a miracle she talks to me today.
Oh, dude, I understand. Me and my older sister used to have screaming matches, and I know she's listening to this, so yeah, you can be mad at me, but we used to have screaming matches. Just
I
absolute.
don't talk to my siblings. Well, my older sibling.
My brother and I fought, but we get along great now. It just turns out we
Yeah.
can't live with each other.
You know, I've noticed that if you're like good with your younger siblings as a kid, you grow apart. But if you hate each other as kids, like 9 times out of 10, I found that everyone just loves their siblings at that point.
Yeah,
Like
no, I love my
it's
brother.
it's like
It was
We
never
were
good for my
growing up.
That's usually how it is.
I think after my brother got to grade 7 or grade 6, then things went way off the track. And we weren't even close I haven't been close since. Families are different for everyone.
Yeah.
I
so
can't believe she talks to me because I would constantly get her in shit for the stupidest things. Like, tell her, Shaylee, the ghost in the basement stole your tooth fairy money.
Oh,
She was gullible at the time, and she's like, "There's no ghost in the basement." I'm like, "Do you want to check?"
Yeah, let's find out and play some beers.
Yeah. You'd see the $5. It's right there at the basement. You better go get it.
Oh yeah, just scare the shit out of her. Or we were having a water fight one day, and I used a hose on her, and she ran up to her room and out the window and said, "You can't get me now." I'm like, "You want to bet?"
Oh no.
Yes, I made that
Nice.
mistake once.
Oh, no.
Water reaches.
Yeah, it goes
It
too
does.
far.
It goes
My mom
past
didn't
the
notice the
person.
water stain on the ceiling until we moved out of that house.
Nice.
amazing.
That's funny.
So now you're a bank teller. Do you incorporate math and bank teller things into your art? Are you inspired by the world around you, or is it a barren wasteland of gray, dull banknotes and people asking for their goddamn taxes back?
This is Canada. We don't have gray, dull banknotes. Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah, we
It's
do.
just
I
it's just
said
been there
building.
so long.
I
Sarah.
said building.
You said
It's
banknotes.
pretty dull. Like, people will be like, "Why did you suddenly take 4,000 out of my account?" I'm like, "A, we didn't. B, your check that you deposited 3 years ago bounced, so you have to
And-
get them to issue a new one."
And C, I didn't take no money. I am just sitting
Nice.
here. This is
I
my
robbed
job.
you because I wanted your money.
This is what the computer tells me. If you were...
Yep, transfer
sorry.
all their funds into my accounts and then disappear. Nothing can go wrong.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
you
really
go.
that disgruntled,
One
you
day-
can get a manager for you.
But
That's why
that-
you have 47 different accounts so that they can't track it.
one day, if you're so mad, if someone does that and yells like, "You guys took all my money," and you just look and just close the computer and be like, "Yes," and you say his name or her name, "I actually did take all your money.
Their full,
I
their
went
full name. Their
I-
like,
I
first and
went-
last name.
I went into your personal account and took all your money, and there's nothing you can do about it. And now I have all your money. Ha 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 ha."
I have wanted to do that, all our communications are monitored.
Yeah, that's fair.
And just be like, what do you want to do? You know,
It just doesn't make sense. Why would I want to steal the $60 out of your account when you had 200? I'm pretty certain there's other accounts I could abuse.
Yeah, right.
Sir,
if I had access to all these funds at a willing, notice. You think I'd really grab you with your limited funds
That's
of
even
like
better.
meager rent?
that's even
Yeah.
better.
Like, there's literally a bunch of rich people that probably own the bank that I could, if I really, wanted to. That's probably
They
free
might
game.
not even notice it.
That's what
Probably
I'd
not.
say. Sir, if I wanted to steal money, I would reach into a billionaire's account that I have access to and take $60 from there because they wouldn't notice it. Not from some money grubbing asshole who's going to come here and yell at me about his damn $60.
And look like you're doing right now. Like you're making a fool of yourself. Yeah.
There have been some crazy communications. I'll say that for certain. But no, definitely, that does not influence my art at all. And because I have to be nice to people through that. And often
don't.
in my work, there's not the nicest people.
You could literally do a piece of a really sexy looking man, maybe androgynous, jumping over a counter of bank tellers and stabbing a patron, and make it like with flowers and like beautiful colors in the background, and I guarantee someone will buy that.
Oh, yeah.
You just call it.
You're on the right track. I gotta make them look like they're doing the ballet as they're stabbing.
Yes, and you call it teller rage.